If you want to be a featured, Hey, it's Annika here with Sniffdog. If you are welcoming a new dog or puppy into your home and you're worried about introducing it to your resident dog, this video is for you.
At Sniffdog, we're here to teach you how to speak dog. If you can have a better understanding of your dog, you can have a relationship built off trust and fun. We want to come on this wonderful journey of pet ownership with you to help empower the love and connection between you and your pup.
Real quick before we get started with today's video, I want to give a loving shout out to I Am Lupus the dog, all the way in Germany. Thank you for following along and commenting and liking all of our content along the way. If you want to be a featured pet on our YouTube videos or Instagram, please make sure that you share our videos with your friends and leave some comments about what you want to learn more about. Oh, P.S. don't forget to download the training tip sheet. I made it for you, and also stay to the end because we have bloopers and I'm tired, so they're really good today. All right, so getting a new puppy or adult dog and bringing them home into your home when you already have a dog is super thrilling and exciting. It's also really stressful. I know that you don't want your current dog, which I'll refer to as your resident dog, to be stressed out, unhappy, left out, jealous, and you wanna make sure that you're facilitating a good friendship between your older dog and now your newer dog. It's a lot of pressure, and so making sure that you're doing things to set them up for success and starting off on the right foot is absolutely in your best interest. And this video, I hope today, gives you reassurance that you're definitely able to see them develop a healthy relationship and start off right from the very beginning by avoiding conflict altogether. What you're gonna need for today's video is nothing at all. Okay, let's get to tip number one. Meet and engage outside your home. Now, this is one of the most common mistakes people make. Just because both dogs are friendly, it in no way means that your resident dog is going to be comfortable with a strange dog coming into their home. Sharing their home space is instinctively and primarily not something that most dogs are comfortable with. Your dog might be super friendly outside of the home with other dogs, and sharing small spaces in their home is not something most dogs are acclimatized to. In order to make sure that your new dog and your older dog are best of friends and set up for success, I would highly recommend meeting in neutral territory. And what that means is just nowhere near your house, not outside the front door, not in the car when you first pick your new dog or your puppy up, not on leashes ideally, and not within even a block of your house. It's really important that you try to get some scent exchange and some exploring and some seeing each other when they're in neutral territory away from home. Generally speaking, for dogs, the smaller the space, the more restricted or confined they are. So behind gates, behind doors, behind crates, on leash. So the more confined they are, and also the smaller the space, the more likely conflict is to happen. And so in order to set them up for success, making sure that you're facilitating an initial meet and greet away from home, but also in more of a freedom type interaction is absolutely what I would recommend. So when you are away from home and you're prepared to let them finally meet each other, if it's a young puppy, I recommend just holding that puppy in your arms and letting your other dog come up and sniff the puppy. Both dogs should be given reinforcement, aka some treats and praise, for just exploring each other and tolerating being sniffed. You want to make sure that the dog that is on leash never has a tight leash. So if you're letting your resident dog come up and sniff a puppy in your arms, don't pull back on that leash. The leash tension will cause tension in the interaction and just increase stress where it doesn't need to be. So if you are going to keep your dog on leash for this, because you just want to make sure that your dog is comfortable, make sure that it is a slack leash, use lots of happy voices, and be rewarding both dogs for calm and polite behavior around one another. If you are bringing an adult dog home, I wouldn't recommend holding it. And P.S. when you hold your puppy, you want to be low to the ground so your adult dog isn't jumping up at the puppy in your arms. That would be very scary for your puppy. But if you're introducing two adult dogs to each other, I always recommend that you have them dragging leashes and let them just go say hi in a tennis court or a fenced-in field area. They can both be dragging long leashes, but let them feel off leash, and you might want to keep some lines on them, so if there is conflict, you can just pick up the leashes and remove them from each other. So not totally off leash, maybe you're holding a long slack leash so they can have a free interaction without the tension or confinement of the leash being held. The other thing you want to do with two adult dogs is start walking right away. The more that you can walk, the more stress will actually be relieved, and they'll be able to sniff and explore and mimic each other's behavior and get curious around each other. It's less about
holy shit, we're having an interaction and who the hell are you and who the hell are you? It's more like, oh, we're on a walk together and we're gonna explore this environment together.
So movement with two adult dogs is key to get them to just share space without too much focus on one another. Going on a leashed 15-minute to half an hour walk together would be absolutely the best thing to do, especially if it's two adult dogs. If it's a puppy that you're introducing, obviously you can put the puppy down for a few minutes, pick them up and carry them, and do that throughout the course of 15 to 30 minutes. The longer the time they spend together casually with other things to distract them on a walk, the better they will be when you bring them to a confined space inside. So make sure it's neutral territory, there's lots of movement, and it's not too busy of an environment, but also not just so focused on meeting each other, and reward both dogs for calm, appropriate behavior. Real quick, before we get to tip number 2, I wanna make it clear, if you have a reactive dog, an aggressive dog, a dog that does not like puppies, and you have an adult dog and you're bringing a puppy home, or any sort of dog issues with your resident dog, this video is absolutely not to replace one-on-one training with a professional certified fear-free dog trainer. You want to get help if your dog has any underlying issues so that you're not having an aggression issue between the two dogs from the get-go. All right, tip number 2, lift shared resources. Now, when you bring the dogs inside, it's most important that everything that is food related, toy related, or an owned resource to your dog is lifted. Sharing is not caring between dogs. It is not how it works for them. With dogs, the phrase, it's a dog-eat-dog world out there, does actually stand true in some ways. A lot of dogs are very possessive over things and space and even people that they deem to be their resource. That's normal dog stuff. It's not something that we want to take away from them or change or modify or punish. Dogs are dogs sometimes. So in order to set them up for success, I would lift all toys, like I said, bones, food puzzles, even water dishes, mats that foods are sometimes delivered on. Crate doors should be shut. Dog beds can usually stay on the ground, but it is important that we just remove any resources that the resident dog deems to be theirs to make sure that when the new dog comes in, we're not creating any conflict over a shared resource. If you think about it, 2 dogs, 1 toy, 2 dogs, 1 bed, 2 dogs, 1 bully stick, 2 dogs, 1 bone, oftentimes will lead to conflict. And P.S., you don't have to lift the shared resources forever. This is mainly to set them off onto the right foot when they're first developing a relationship. You can imagine a puppy comes into a new house just trying to explore and take it all in and is quite curious.
And they're like, oh, what's this toy?
Imagine the adult dog that lives in the home comes and smashes the puppy just for going for a toy that looked like a puppy toy. We don't want that to happen. So until they have an established relationship, whether it's a puppy or an adult that you're bringing into your home, I think it's important both dogs have their own space with their own toys. And when they're in shared spaces, all the toys and food related items are lifted. Side note, I highly recommend you feed both dogs separately, where there's no ask for them to feed side by side. That is a hard ask if dogs don't already have a strong relationship. So everything I recommend in the home that's resource-based should be shared, consumed rather separately and not together. Okay, now your home is ready to bring the dogs in. Don't bring them in together. That new dog is needing to acclimatize to their new environment. They need to explore every corner of every room most of the time. So I would recommend you bring the new pup or new adult dog into your home first for 30 minutes, and then you can bring the resident dog who just spent half an hour with that new dog into the home and start rewarding calm behavior right away. Now, I also want to just say, when you bring them into the home and now they're in a small space, it doesn't mean they're going to be the best of friends. You want to just relieve some of your expectation that they're going to be kindreds right away. It can take weeks, if not months, for some dogs to develop that type of relationship. If there is conflict, reach out to a trainer and make sure that you get some support so it's not getting worse and you're taking too long to reach out for help. Some of this stuff is repairable if there's conflict, but there's no point in letting that linger. Ooh, and it's important I remember to tell you, you want your resident dog to be well exercised and quite tired on the day that you do this. Not over exercised or else they'll have a short fuse. So just make sure their exercise needs have been met before you did that tip number 1 and before you get to tip number 2. You do not want a super hyper dog in tip number 2 welcoming a new dog into their space. That is likely to lead to more conflict. Tip number 3 is to keep routines the same for your resident dog. Hello, getting a new dog in their home environment is stressful. It's a lot. It's a lot to ask of your resident dog. The amount of attention they get changes. The smells in their house changes. They now have to share space and share resources and share you and your time. Maybe rules have changed a little bit because you're catering to a new dog in the home. And of course, routines do change, but the best thing you can do for your resident dog, whether you're getting an adult or a puppy, new dog, is keep their lives as similar as you can and really keep up on one-on-one time with them. Sometimes people get new dogs into their home and then they try to make everything the same. We're gonna go on the same walks together. We're gonna cuddle on the couch at the same time together. We're gonna feed them side by side together. They're both gonna get bones at the same time, which then they're gonna fight over together. It should be really that your resident dog has the same walks they always had. Maybe in the short term, the puppy doesn't join, and in the long term they do. Puppy gets their own socialization walks. Or maybe the adult dog needs some time to acclimatize to their new environment and you take them on half-hour walks, but keep your walk with your resident dog the same as they were before. Over time, most of the time, they integrate and they end up having the same routine. But what I don't want is for you to cater to a puppy and take your adult dog on every puppy walk and then he doesn't have his needs met, his or her. So make sure you keep up on those routines. And the other thing is, make time for training both dogs and cuddling with both dogs, but one-on-one. Bonding is very individual sometimes, so prioritize that and try to keep your resident dog's life as similar as you can with the new dog now added to your family. Okay, that's it, that's all. I hope this helps you. This can be a totally nerve-wracking experience. Don't get attached if they're not best friends right away. It takes a long time for resident dogs to acclimatize to a new buddy being in their home. Don't rush the process. And also, don't punish your resident dog if they're a little off, maybe a little edgy, a little guardy, a little aggressive, possessive. Have some compassion for them because their whole world just got flipped upside down. A lot of the time they learn to love each other and the stress will dissipate the longer that you have both dogs, and everyone will get in their own routine and rhythms and you'll start to have fun with your new family member. I hope this video helped for you. Don't forget to download the training tip sheets. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Press the notify button so you find out when every video comes out. Make sure you follow us on Instagram. We give lots of extra tips there, and share with your friends the videos on Facebook. And as always, enjoy the bloopers. If you want to be a featured, hey, where is it? And sharing on all of our posts. Real quick before we get started with today's video, I want to I cannot talk today.